He may be the greatest mind in the Star Wars universe, but Grand Admiral Thrawn is not infallible. Today, we'll go over the strategies that will give you the best chance of defeating Myth Ra Niroto. Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another episode of Star Wars Battle Breakdown. Before we begin, I just want to take a second to plug the second channel. As per the request of many of you guys, I've recently started a new Thrawn's Revenge campaign, and we're playing as the Hand of Thrawn. Now, Thrawn's Revenge is a post-Endor mod for Star Wars Empire at War. It's a ton of fun. If you're interested, you can check out the link to my second channel down in the description or in the top right corner. But let's get to the content.
To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not simply their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art.
Thrawn's right. One must know an enemy they hope to defeat. So let's first examine Thrawn's strengths as well as his notable losses. Let's get the strengths out of the way. And Thrawn's most impressive asset is his ability to almost tell the future, to analyze events and predict how his enemies and allies will react. A great example of this was when he neutralized the New Republic's feint at the Battle of Bilbringi. He was the only Imperial who wasn't fooled by the New Republic's fake attack on Tangreen. Thrawn's foresight is so extreme that it causes his enemies to second guess both every action that they take and everything the Empire does. Under Thrawn, every Imperial move seems infallible, and every action is assumed to have a purpose behind it. Related is his understanding of his enemies. Thrawn has an incredible memory and absolutely insane pattern recognition ability. In almost every engagement, Thrawn's first move is to identify his opponent. He will then recall past or determine likely strategies and respond effectively. While this does seem sort of obvious and even easy, Thrawn is able to identify his enemy's likely moves based on somewhat strange factors, like a pervasive culture amongst a species, the personal attributes of a commander, or how an enemy perceives his strength. Often his predictions and his understanding is so far-fetched that his contemporaries or underlings will question his hunches. However, Thrawn is at his best and almost unbeatable when he's able to know his enemy and develop a strategy. This skill is useful for both developing tactics after encountering an enemy in battle or for creating the strategy for a grand war campaign. One of Thrawn's most underappreciated strengths is his creative use of technology and resources. Thrawn makes the absolute best use of everything available to him. During his campaign against the New Republic, he brought the government to its knees with only a very small percentage of the Imperial fleet, less than 50 Star Destroyers in total. We see he uses the ships he does have very well, while also gaining an advantage through the creative use of technology or circumstance. For example, Thrawn found the lost Katana fleet and crewed it through the novel use of Sparti clones and the force bubbles created by the Ysalamari. He then used Jorah Sabayoth's battle meditation to not only make his forces more effective, but also to coordinate simultaneous attacks across systems and generally confuse his opponents. He used interdiction Star Destroyers heavily, not only to stop enemies from retreat or to pull them out of hyperspace, but also through novel strategies like the Thrawn Pincer. The point is that having a numbers advantage against Myth Ra Niroto is certainly not enough to guarantee victory, and it's this creativity, along with his incredible foresight and his ability to know his enemy, that makes him so dangerous. However, as I mentioned earlier, Thrawn is not infallible, and what's more, I believe that when looking at his failures, we can spot a common thread. At Bilbringi, Thrawn's forces are surprised by the Smugglers' Alliance, which gives the New Republic fleet a chance to strike back. Thrawn also misunderstands the Noghri and ends up being assassinated by his bodyguard Rook. This was in part due to not understanding Noghri culture and not tracking closely enough Princess Leia. At the Battle of Sluis Van, Thrawn is defeated after Lando uses a device to disable his stolen mole miners. I think the clear trend that we see here is that while Thrawn clearly understands his enemies and spends a lot of time analyzing his enemies, he's less skilled at anticipating attacks or even just the actions of third parties. He really should have anticipated the actions of the Smugglers' Alliance, given his brilliance because of his interactions with Talon Card. Also, given the degree to which he utilized and repressed the Noghri and his ability to understand culture, he never should have allowed himself to be assassinated. And really, it's the same at Sluis Vaughn. Thrawn anticipated the actions of the New Republic, he put his plan into motion, but didn't think about how Lando Calrissian himself would impact his plans. So when facing Thrawn, I think it's a good idea to make use of mercenaries, spec op groups, or just forces that he is not aware of. Again, his best asset is his ability to prepare and foresee events. So by withholding information, you have your best chance at defeating him. Now, it still won't be easy because Thrawn can adapt quite quickly, but in my mind, this is one of the cracks in his armor. Another weakness I think would be the general incompetence, or I guess more accurately, lack of perfection of those around him. Even Captain Pellaeon was nowhere near Thrawn's tactical genius. We see, for example, Luke Skywalker manages to escape a tractor beam trap because of the incompetence of one of Thrawn's bridge officers. Now, admittedly, the man was executed immediately after Luke's escape, so the incompetence didn't last for very long. But the fact of the matter is, due to his position as a Grand Admiral, no matter how skilled Thrawn is, by necessity, he relies on tens if not hundreds of thousands of people to help him complete his plans. So to summarize, Thrawn probably understands what you're doing with your forces even better than you are. At least your traditional military forces. I still think best practices would be to use some third party. During the Thrawn campaign, the New Republic should have actually paid off the Smugglers Alliance to help at Bilbringi, because had the group decided not to, the New Republic very well may have lost the final battle. Also take advantage of the fact that, while he may not be human himself, those around him are. But I'd like to turn the question over to you. You're a New Republic military leader facing off against an angry Thrawn. How would you hope to stop him? Do you have any ideas that I didn't mention here? What overall strategy would you use? Let me know all of that and more down in the comments section. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, this has been EckhartsLadder. May the Force be with you.